All right, guys. Well, here we are, and I already did like a short monologue for the $10 tier. I started doing like vlog style, like my daily life, like stories that I've been doing, but like in real time. And that's for the $10 tier and up. That's not what I did today. I just did like what you guys are used to, the 10-minute monologue style stuff. And Karina's got her DUI class in about an hour, less than an hour. So I have to be done with this video in like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. I think I'm going to stop like right around the 50-minute mark. So that's why I'm not going to do too big of an introduction. If this is on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, check out patreon.com/Ryan Leone. Let's get right into the story. All the links are in the pinned comments. If this even gets to YouTube, I don't think it will. But anyway, fuck it, who cares? So we're in the Shaky Jake Redux series. And how I originally had envisioned this series was that I'm going to use prison as like the baseline, right? So like kind of like as a point of reference of what was going on. In my mind, that's how I can keep like in tune with the chronology, but it's going to splinter off and there's going to be like sub stories and like different things that were going on, et cetera, et cetera. So the last story that we were talking about was methadone. We were talking about it's kind of some of the misadventures that I had on methadone when I was part of the program. And methadone, for those of you that are thinking about getting on it, don't. You'll gain a lot of weight and you will not want to have sex anymore, which is weird. You're like with the chick. She's like, what do you want to do? You're like, let's headbutt. Okay. How'd it feel? Bomb. Just like bleeding. Yeah, you won't have sex anymore. You shit like every 2 or 3 weeks. That's some people. Some people aren't like that. I know some people that are on methadone that have like straight Calvin Klein esque bodies. What the fuck? It's not how I get one. When I get on it, I get obese. I'm like at a restaurant. I'm like take the cap off a salt shaker. I'm like, ugh, and just down the whole thing. I'm like, I'm fine. I need sodium. Fucking starving. It's the methadone. I become like a goblin. It's insane. But so anyway, so when I got on that program to begin with, it was, as I talked about last time, it was because I was sick of being dope sick. I was sick of waking up sick. And usually when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you go to meetings and say that. You're like, dude, it's crazy. I don't know. I just woke up one day and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now I'm here. Oh, there's the chip lady. I want to fuck her. Hey, what's up, Eddie? Let's fuck. Yeah, what? I don't know. I have nothing against AA. A lot of my best friends are in it, and it's helped me before. It's helped me get laid. All right. So, when I got on that program, one of the biggest problems was that it was liquid handcuffs, as we had talked about. And that's what everybody calls it. People that have been on that program for a long time will say that methadone is liquid handcuffs because you get stuck on it. You can't get off. People are like, oh, I'm thinking about getting off, but then I'd have to have sex again, and oh, that sounds gross. I'm gonna stay on. And they just like fall asleep, like while they're driving a motorcycle or something. People really do get stuck on that shit. And where we had left off last time, what was going on in prison is that I'd gone in there kicking 180 milligrams of methadone. Now, that's probably not unfathomable for people that are actually. If you're on methadone, can you imagine going to a setting like federal detention and then being like, well, we're cutting you off? You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm just gonna lay in bed. Yeah, right. You die. I mean, it's like exorcism style fucking withdrawal. Like head spins around and you like puke up pea soup or whatever that chick did. Stick crucifixes in your asshole. It's really bad. And so they had taken me to the hospital. The Indian doctor guy had gotten confused and he ended up giving me, I think it was 140 milligrams. I think it was 14 10-milligram methadose pills, if I remember correctly, because he was confused and he didn't realize that I had been I'd only been off methadone for like a week. He thought that I was coming straight in off that dose. So I got super loaded and I was laying in bed like watching 2.5 Men and I was like, damn, shit's fucking hilarious. Because that's how you look like a trout or something when you're on methadone or when you're Really high on any opiate. Is this funny? Yeah. Are you funny? No. You ever notice that's how kind of methadone zombies talk? It's weirdo shit. But anyway, so as I'm in the hospital now, the plan in there is that they're gonna kick me down 1 milligram a day for the foreseeable future. So in theory, I would have been in there like probably 4 or 5 months, really. And this is the thing. When you first get busted, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Manson, any of these guys get busted. They're all like, well, fuck, I might beat my case. Everybody thinks that. I don't care who you are. When you first get busted, it's hard for you to really genuinely think that you're going to be stuck in there for years. Like, I couldn't even wrap my head around that shit. I was like, I'll be bailed out next time I go to court. And everybody was like laughing at me. They're like, okay. Because they just don't give you bail like that when you're in federal detention unless you're a rat. And that is the truth, you know? At least nowadays. Like, you know, my boy, I just watched, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I watched Seth Ferrante's um, Viceland episode. I was a teenage felon. Big Herc was on that as well. Both of those guys are my friends. And when he first got busted, that was back in the early 90s, they would give you bail. You know, he stayed solid. That dude did 21 years in prison. He kept his fucking mouth shut. But nowadays, once they get you in federal custody, like, I'm not talking about being in a police substation, like when they let me go. I'm not talking about being in a county jail. I'm talking about when you get to a place like MDCLA, you can only go get bail if you're a rat. That's it. Or a choma. Well, yeah, I'm a Mo. Yeah, you too. Come on. Just get out of here. Go home. Go fuck over other kids' lives. We're going to keep the junkies in. All right. That's what my attorney said. Cool. See you guys later. And you're just like, how are these pieces of shit getting out and the drug addicts are staying in? You know? I mean, I'm not saying that selling heroin's a good thing. It's not. I probably destroyed a lot of lives. I know I did. But it was consensual. That's the difference. I'm not saying that it was okay, but chomos and sex offenders need to be getting broke off way, 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 way harder than they are. If you I don't, you fuck with my kid, I'll kill you. That is on everything I love. I will murder you. I won't even think twice. I'll cut your fucking head off, and I will go to the police station. I'll be like, I cut this chomo's head off, and I wanted you to know about it. Just set it down on the stairs or something, the desk. All right. Anyway, sorry. So one of the big problems that I had with methadone, and kind of something we'll cover, you know, in the course of, I don't know, the next video or two, is that, as I said last time, when you're at the methadone clinic, you get drug tested frequently, like 3 times a week. And if you get it dirty, not only do they up your dose, but they won't give you take homes, and that's where the real liquid handcuffs comes in, because now you're stuck at these clinics. Oh my god, dude, Dasani's so shitty. It tastes like chlorine or something. Probably is. Nico's probably scooping this in the pool. I always do shit like that. So, I think the first time that methadone really negatively affected me is where we had left off in the last video. When I'd gone to San Francisco for Christmas with my parents. Now, I don't remember, because I did that a couple times while I was strung out on a methadone. I don't remember if Jenny was with me on that trip. I don't think so. I'm almost positive she wasn't. I know she wasn't with me when I got beat up, when I went to that, like, abandoned, like, art warehouse, whatever the fuck that place was. But anyway, my dad took me to go get the courtesy dose. It took them forever, so he ended up leaving, and I was supposed to take a taxi home. When I was done, he gave me $100. Yes, this was back in like 2007, 2008, when there were taxis. There's like not even taxis in it. They're like an endangered species. People with like binoculars in the city, like, oh my god, there's a yellow one. All right, that was super stupid. Sorry. How embarrassing. Well, 9 minutes in, we're not gonna stop now. Fuck it, we'll just roll with it. Um, you don't see taxis like you do. Oh, ew. Then there's like cum coming out of me again. No, I'm always like spitting. You know what that is? That's like pieces of my teeth. Oh yeah, I was a real addict. I'm like spitting pieces of tooth out. No, I don't know. Maybe. I remember the other day a piece really did come out. Anyway, so I go into this. I go with this prostitute, and she's supposed to get me crack. I'm not even trying to get fucking heroin at the time. I'm trying to smoke crack. She takes me up to this very weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an industrial building in downtown San Francisco on the Tenderloin, right by Marketplace. And she presses this intercom, and this dude lets us in. We go up these stairs. Now I remember like how I described it last video. I think that I said this, I don't really remember, but I think that I described it like the building from Hostel, because you could see these like light bulbs kind of like flickering out like as you, it was very ominous, and I heard a baby crying. It was really weird. And then we end up getting to this place, and this guy beats the living fucking shit out of me. Stomps me out, right? At one point I'd gotten up. I don't know how much time went by, because when you get beat up like that, when you're in a traumatic situation, you have high adrenaline rush to that degree, everything is kind of like the volume's down. It feels like things are kind of checkery and slow motion. Adrenaline kind of gives you tunnel vision, and it's hard to even know. You don't really have a concept of how much time is going by. You don't really know what's going on. All I know is that I went down the hallway, and I went down these big stairs. I get to the front door, and I was locked in. This fucking door locked from the inside. And then I heard footsteps. So I went and I hid behind this doorway. Or I mean, these staircase kind of looked like the back of bleachers. It was really weird. It was like auditorium stairs where like you could see this. I don't know what that's called. I'm sure there's people that know architecture and shit, but you could like see the wooden stairs, like the shape of it, concave or whatever. Is that how you say that? Concave? And I hid down there. And then I heard steps again, and the door opens, and it's flooded with light. Now, from where I was, I couldn't see who was going in and out of this building, right? But I knew that the front door had opened. Like the only thing I could see from where I was the light. Like the whole thing just kind of was flooded with light. Now I'm petrified. I'm beat up badly. You know, I keep touching my face, and blood's like trickling through my fingers and like rolling down my elbow. Feels like there's bugs crawling on me. You ever get beat up really bad and like blood that runs down you kind of feels like bugs crawling on you? I mean, if you're a crackhead like I was, oh, bugs, fuck. It's like you know you're a crackhead when you feel blood trickling on you and you associate with bugs crawling on you and not some sort of liquid rolling down your elbow. That's what most people I think would think of. And of course, I was a crackhead. I was like, oh my god, it's grasshoppers. They've gone wild. Fuck. And I was like trying to swat them away. So I'm petrified. I'm stuck in this little area, and I don't know what to do because I got beat up really bad, and I know it. Like I can feel it. There's blood all over me. So I just kind of stay there crouched, and I don't know what to do. You know, like I'm like sitting there with like, don't really have like a game plan or whatever. Again, hard for me to know like how much time actually went by, but like if I had to guess, I'd say, I don't know, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Like I was sitting there for a long time. This is after I saw the light going. Finally, I'm like sick of just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, this is silly. There has to be a way out of here. Now at this point, the blood that had been rolling down my face is like caked on me. So it's like it's almost like there's like these blotches of like dried blood all over me. I feel you know how and blood has this weird thing when it like dries, it feels all caked. It feels like there's mud caked on you or something. I mean, I sustained pretty bad injuries. So I end up walking, like I said, 30, 40 minutes after this had happened, and I walk around the stairs, and I go to the front door, and I try to open it again. It's still locked. There's no way to get out. Now, the way that this door worked, like when I had first gone to this place, and she had asked for us to be let in, there was this like gate sound, like I don't know, like something metallic. It sounded like a magnet, like gate track. Almost sounded the way that like a cell, like the old school prison cells where they can press a button and it automatically opens. Because when that door opened, you could hear it go It was like on a track, and then it buzzed and it opened. So I'm like, and I can't really see much. Like it's so dimly lit, I can't really like figure out how this door is put together or whatever. But I'm like feeling around, and it feels like there's it almost feels like sheet metal, like something. It like feels like it's like some sort of light metal or whatever. Whatever the case was, like it was like not sealed, but it was set up in a way where you couldn't open it stood barrier to where the front door was. So I'm assuming that it was on some sort of track or whatever the case was. I wasn't able to get out of it, and I'm like, fuck, like somebody has to literally let you out. Like you have to press a button for this thing to open. It was like a trap door kind of thing, or like a gate or whatever the fuck it was. So at this point I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back up the stairs. That's really like the only place that I could think of to go. And I was hoping maybe I'd run into somebody that wasn't the psychopath that beat me up, or the fucking praying mantis slut that had like that had lured me in. Like, you stupid hot bitch. Fuck. She was too. And I was like thinking, I'm like, I wonder what the situation was with them. Like, did she go to methadone clinics looking for Marks and Johns like me? Doubt it, because it was in the middle of the Tenderloin in San Francisco. It was like the ghettoest group of people I've ever been around. People like wearing all this like tattered up clothing and shit. It looked like extras in a zombie music video, you know? So I end up going up the stairs, and remember I'd heard a baby crying. So I'm in my mind I'm assuming that there's other people here. All I have to do is run into somebody, and somebody will let me out of this place. So I end up going up these stairs. And the thing about it is, the first time I went up those stairs, I remember it didn't make like a lot of noise, or at least I wasn't conscientious of it. But it seemed like the second time that I went up these stairs, it was creaking and it was making all this sound. It was like super loud. I was like, all right, great. They're going to know that I'm here now. So I end up getting back up to the top of the stairs, and there's this long corridor with these different doors. Exactly. It didn't look any different than the first time I saw it. So I just kind of walk into it. And I know that I'm kind of like walking down like, an alley of danger at this point. And I'm just seeing all these different doors. This had to be like an old office building, or like an old apartment complex, or maybe even an old hotel or something. I don't know. It's weird, hard to describe, because the whole building was like cube shaped. It was industrial. So I'm like kind of like listening, trying to see if I can hear somebody on the other side. No baby crying, no nothing. It's just super creepy. Just this long hallway. And I walk, and like there's this. I like put my hand up to one of the doors, and I try to open it. It's locked. I walk all the way to the end of the hallway. My heart's beating the whole time. Like I'm already been beat up really bad. And by the way, not only did I have money stolen from me, but I had my cell phone taken from me as well. So I have no phone, I have no money, I have nothing. And I'm beat the fuck up. I end up walking all the way to the hallway. I don't hear anybody. It's like there's not any noise up there anymore, which made me even more freaked out, because I had heard a baby crying the first time I was there. So after I'm finished walking, I go back down the stairs, and I just kind of like sit on the stairs. Like I'm like sitting on. I'm like trying to think of what to do. Seems like there's nobody even in there anymore. And like at one point, I think I can. This is like in '07, but I think I can remember recalling that. That like I didn't even care if somebody was going to catch. I was like worn out at this point. I was like, oh, whatever. If they catch me in here, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, they jumped me. Not like I was doing anything wrong. I was trapped in there to begin with. I'm lucky that they didn't kill me, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is that I didn't really care what was going to happen. Like the fear went away. Just going up to that hallway again, and like kind of like surveying the perimeters. Did I say perimeters? Kind of made me feel better. So now I'm sitting on these stairs, and I'm just kind of like I have like my face in my hand like this. And remember, I'm on methadone. And one thing about methadone that you don't really realize while you're on it at the time is that it makes you nod out, and it makes you sleep a lot. Like you're always